Remember when War Robots was just about giant robots fighting each other? Oh, you innocent commander, today we're diving into the darkest corners of the game, where conspiracy theories run wild and Schutz's cult awaits. Some say this video contains information Pixonic doesn't want you to see. I say they've already dispatched a Spectre to my location. Let's get started before it finds me. If you're new here, an iceberg video breaks down a topic from common knowledge at the top to increasingly obscure information as we go deeper. We'll start with the basics that every pilot knows, and then we'll work our way down to the kind of stuff that only the oldest players remember or the most dedicated fans have uncovered. Let's get right into it. Multiplayer. 6 people fighting over the center beacon while one guy backcaps your home beacon. That's multiplayer for you. Nothing quite like watching your random teammates ignore the beacons completely while running their full camping hangar on Beacon Rush. At least we're still not dealing with those death squads running full hangars of pre-nerf Aldrins. Clans. Ah yes, clans, where 30 strangers come together to spam need squad in chat. The place where everyone's a leader until it's time to actually organize something, where friendships are forged and hangars are judged mercilessly. And let's be honest, half the clan names sound like they were created by slamming their face on the keyboard. Large selection of items. The good news, there are hundreds of robots and weapons to choose from. The bad news, about 10 of them are actually meta relevant at any given time. The amount of silver needed to upgrade everything could probably fund a small country, and by the time you've maxed that meta build, it's already been nerfed. Meta. Remember when the meta was just whoever has the most Punishers wins? Now we got robots that can fly, teleport, and become immortal, sometimes all at once. Hats off to the guy that maxed his Hawk build right before the nerf hammer struck. At least Titans brought some balance to the game, until Pixonic released the next wave of ultra-powerful robots. Workshop. Component crafting, where dreams go to die and silver goes to evaporate. Nothing quite like spending a month building a Fenrir only for Pixonic to release something that hard counters it the day you finish. The real meta is starting component production for whatever robot is currently destroying you in Champion League. Oh wait, half the actual good robots can't even be produced. Monetization. Did you know that Warbots is actually a clicker game? Well, it might as well be with how many offers I have to X out before I can actually play the damn game. From $100 robot deals to $5 key bundles that tempt you after a bad losing streak. The real progression system is your credit card limit, and everyone knows it. Events and operations. These add a layer of excitement, offering limited time rewards and challenges. However, some players feel these events can be repetitive, leading to burnout. It's great to have fresh content, but it needs to be engaging, not just a checklist. Power creep. Power creep is an ongoing issue in war bots. Newer bots often overshadow older ones, making it feel like you need to constantly update your hangars to remain competitive. It can be frustrating when your favorite bot suddenly becomes a liability in battle. Dash bots. The Kumiho, Heichi, and Bulgazari era changed everything. Suddenly, everyone was dashing around like crazy. Shock trains were flying everywhere, and the meta would never be the same. The original pay-to-win trilogy that made Wallet Warriors unstoppable. Hidden stats. The robot stat screen is about as transparent as Pixonic's business practices. Turns out there's a whole encyclopedia of hidden values that determine everything from bullet spread to how much the game decides it hates you today. And yes, that's why your perfectly aimed shots somehow miss a literal building-sized titan. Tanking. The dark practice of deliberately dropping leagues to destroy lower ranked players. These are the Champion League players you find in gold matches running full Mark III hangars. They single-handedly caused Pixonic to revamp the entire league system, which they then found a new way to exploit. Matchmaking algorithm. The black box that somehow thinks a full squad of Champion League players is an equal match for 5 random Expert League players. It either gives you a perfect match or throws you into a game where the enemy team might as well be doing target practice. Spectre Shock Train. Picture the most annoying meta you can imagine and then multiply it by 4. That was Spectre Shock Train. 4 jump-happy robots would coordinate their attacks and chain stun you back to the Stone Age. The nerf to it came right after everyone finished maxing their hangars, because of course it did. Skirmish Mode. Skirmish Mode was this magical weekend event where suddenly everyone was equal. Imagine a pay-to-win game where, for just a few glorious days, a free player with skill could absolutely demolish a big spender because everyone had the exact same maxed out robots and weapons. Matches were genuinely skill-based and players could test premium equipment before buying it, and that's exactly why Pixonic removed it. Leaked files. Many leaks have been uncovered over the last decade that this game has been out, from the beloved Bastion robot, which eventually became the Rajan, to the unreleased Anet bot, which used the Scavenger Griffin for its placeholder model. Many of these bots have been scrapped due to similarities to past bots, mundane abilities, or just better ideas coming along. The Golem situation. Being one of the first bots in the game, the Golem was randomly removed from the shop. Any way of obtaining the robot was gone, and unless you bought it previously, you were out of luck. Some say that Pixonic was trying to remove clutter bots from the game, and others say that re-random hardpoints was just plain useless. Sonic did, however, bring it back for a singular week in 2020. Rigged chests. Ever notice how you get exactly what you need right after you spent money on something else? The chest system has more predetermined outcomes than a rigged carnival game. The drop rates are technically accurate, they just forgot to mention that they're calculated over the entire player's lifetime and account data. There are also systems in place which give you a higher chance of receiving duplicate items, as well as the bad luck protection that only kicks in after spending money. Component conversion. The promised feature that will let you convert unwanted components into ones you actually need. A system so bad, even cryptocurrency investors called it a scam. Years later, we're still sitting on thousands of useless components from events. For instance, here we have 7,000 mace components, and let's just say I wanted to build a puncher. Guess how many puncher components the 7,000 mace components would turn into? Is it A, 4,000 components, B, 6,000 components, C, 3,500 components, or D, 6,500 components? Trick question, it's only 2,800 components, which is a ridiculous return rate. Schutz cults. A small minority of players who have memed the Schutz robot into being the best robot, when it is, in fact, one of the worst. These players have developed an almost cult-like following, giving into their own delusions and saying that the Schutz is meta and OP. Robot Duck. When players logged onto the test server on April 1st, they were met with a fun surprise, Duck robots. These were reskinned versions of Hover, Kumiko, Hellburner, and Invader, and it was really fun seeing ducks with guns on them. I really do wish Pixonic would do more of these funny April Fool's jokes, but they never do. Soccer mode. This was a community event in which YouTubers were invited into a custom match to play matches of football, for all you Easterners out there. Everyone's robots were given dashes instead of their usual abilities, and goalposts were constructed out of terrain on certain maps. If Pixel brought this mode to the actual game, so many people would play it, but the devs' brain cells didn't connect, and therefore the public has never been able to experience this masterpiece. And finally, story mode. Files found in the game's code hints at a planned single-player campaign mode that never saw the light of day. Imagine playing through a story about why these robots are actually fighting each other, who's in charge of the corporations, and why humanity has abandoned Earth. Instead of just endless PvP matches and loading screens, this could have been a great way to tell players more about the game's story and lore. The closest we ever got was the Swarm Extermination mode, aka Free Platinum Simulator. And there you have it, the complete War Robots iceberg. From the surface level meta complaints to the deepest community mysteries. If you've been playing since the beginning, you've probably experienced most of these firsthand. And if you're new, well, now you know why that one guy in your clan won't stop talking about his beloved Schutz. Now, if you'll excuse me, I think I see a Pixonic van outside my house. Maybe I shouldn't have given all those secrets away.